My name is Joe Coletti. I'm the varsity coach here at Willow. I'm going into what will be my 19th year of coaching high school basketball. So did a bunch of years as an assistant in a few places, 8th year as the head coach here. We've had a little bit of success, and so just some notes kind of on us real quick. We've, like I said, been able to have some success. Think that this place is becoming a pretty special place. We talk to our parents and kids all the time. When you're, considering where to train as a youth player, when you're considering, what your high school experience should look like, I think it's important to kind of evaluate like what are the priorities, right? And for us, we believe that it's always got to be bigger than basketball. And I think when we get that right, we have a chance to have some of the success that we've had. So we believe that good people can make good basketball players. And, it's really hard to do it the other way around. So, like I said, I think Willow's becoming a special place. We think that we have the talent and coaching staff to really make it an elite space. And, when you look in the West Valley, there's a lot of schools that won state titles this year on the boys' side, a couple more on the girls' side. There's a lot of really good basketball being played over here, and we think that we're fighting to be in that tier. For a while, we were fighting to be in the, you got to come in and beat us, as opposed to we're just going to give you the W. But we're well beyond that stage. So that's a little bit on us, and I'll share this after the fact. So that was all about the program. I just happened to be a part of it. But like I said, we'll share that with you guys. There's some information on kind of how you can connect with us. So if after this, if there's anything you go, hey, I'd love to talk a little bit more about that, or I'm kind of curious about this when you said this, that's our contact info. So obviously we're here, right, to talk about building a better practice. So I know we got skills trainer, we do individual training with our kids, both of you guys, the rest of us coach. When you're thinking about building a basketball practice, the first thing that I would start with is, so I'm an educator, career educator, kind of doing both worlds right now as an administrator and educator. So part-time, I'm the dean of students, and then part-time I teach. If I were to go in and evaluate a first-year teacher, one of the first things that I would do in helping them build a lesson or talk through a lesson that they gave is, what was the goal? Like, what did I want my students to know at the end of the lesson, right? And it's the exact same thing as a coach, right? So starting with the personnel that you have, knowing the level and age. I know we got junior high coaches, we train pros, we train third graders, fourth graders, fourth graders. So we've kind of got a range. So you got to start with, okay, who am I working with? What are they capable of right now? And where do I want them to get to kind of by the end of this hour, or 90 minutes, or 30 minutes, whatever your block is, right? So when you start with that, now you can work backwards, right? So the principle is starting with the end in mind, okay? So the number one thing that I would do is start with the end in mind. So again, if I'm training a novice freshman basketball player, right? We're at a point now in our program, I think moving forward, it's going to be difficult to be a freshman and play JV here. I think it's going to be difficult to be a freshman and play varsity here. You really probably are going to need to be a special kid, right? That's fine, because again, I think the question, at least for our program, is, maybe I could go play right away at a higher level at another school. What's your practice going to look like? What's your daily going to look like? We've talked a lot about certain guys that are in our school as well as other schools. You have 83 practices if you play all the way to the state championship. Okay, unfortunately we only got to like 76 this year. Okay, That's a lot, right? And you're guaranteed 18 games. So games is not, games, we all know this, is not where you get better, it's practice. So if I'm starting with a novice freshman, somebody who's really, never really played, I gotta start with the basics, footwork, right? So they gotta be able to pivot, they gotta be able to turn, they gotta be able to jab before they can learn how to 1-2 step or shoot off of a hop step or things like that. So you've gotta be careful, and this goes back to starting with the end in mind. So what is it that they know right now? And what is it that I want them to know, okay? And then, what's up, brother? Come on in. Come on in, grab some breakfast, chill for a few minutes. Appreciate you again being here. So starting with the end in mind, okay? Now, if I have 7, 8 kids that are at an elite level, right? We're pretty blessed right now. I think different ages and different abilities because of their ages. But I would say we're probably close to 18 to 20 kids that I think are pushing that elite status in our program now. So open gym is really fun. Like, it's really fun because you got a freshman out there, and if he makes 1 or 2 shots, all of a sudden his swag level goes up another level, and he's cooking seniors, right? We've got some 7th and 8th graders that come in and train and play with them a little bit, and they compete, So all that to say is that the level of your gym is going to dictate what it is that you can do, but regardless, you want to start here. Okay, start with the end in mind. What is it that I want them to know? I've seen countless times coaches show up to the gym, and I'm guilty of it too when I was a young coach. Hey, I got 45 minutes. I'm driving in there. We're all busy. I know we got folks that got normal 9-to-5s, and we got kids, we got spouses who are asking us to take out the trash, and all that stuff. We're driving in going, all right, well, I think we should do this, I think we should do that. Don't do that. Like, if I could give you any encouragement, don't do that. Write it down, okay? If you put it on your phone and it's a note, and we fill out, get it out of your head, get it onto paper. Because invariably what happens, okay, whether I'm training 3 kids or I got 12 squirrels, 7th graders in the gym, I'm gonna end up getting upset at 3 of them because they're messing around or not doing the drill as focused as they need to, and I'm gonna take my attention and put it on them. Maybe my frustration level goes up. Next thing you know, what was the next drill I wanted to do? Get water, right? If I write it down, I have something that I can come back to, and it sounds really simple, okay? And I've got a sample practice plan that I'm gonna give you guys that we use for our high school. And if you want to use that template, go for it. If you want to do your own thing, obviously go for it. But one of my favorite John Wooden quotes is right there: "Failing to plan is planning to fail." So I just think it's really important. Have a vision of what it is that you want to accomplish. How you gonna figure that out? You start with question 1, right? What is it that I want them to get at the end of this training session or this practice? Okay, and then I got to write it down. Intentionality. Okay, intentionality is the secret sauce. 90% of what we do, from how we move, when we get water, when we shoot free throws, honestly, the stuff that I say is done with intention. Very rarely do we show up and go, I really don't know what Justin needs to hear today in practice. Our coaching staff has texted throughout the day. We talk literally more to our coaching staff than probably we do to our wives. Truly. And we take our wives out to dinner. Hey, I'm sorry, I was talking to, Jay more than you this week. What's up? But we're connecting on what it is that the kids need from us. And then, okay, coach, you go ahead and get in with Justin today. Check in with him about his family. Check in with how he's doing with his dog passing away. I'm going to coach him really hard, so you love on him really hard, right? That's done with intention, okay? A lot of coaches waste time without knowing it. I am 1,000% guilty of that. Early in my coaching career, like I said, a lot of times I would show up and just go, all right, I got to run a defensive shell drill. All right, let's get into shell. Well, why are we in shell? Do we need to work on ball screen coverage? Do we need to work on sliding and keeping the ball out of the paint? Do we need to work on defensive rebounding? Do we need to work on moving on the movement of the ball? Like, what is it that we're trying to get accomplished out of shell? And then being focused on that so that when the squirrel happens, right, when the kid gets distracted, I don't get upset. I go, hey, Brad, this is what we're trying to accomplish in this drill. Focus back up. Because I know exactly what it is that I want to get done. Okay?
So how much more of the why are you having to describe to your kids,
kids?
Before you start into something versus in the middle of that?
That's a great question. I would answer it by saying...
Keep the squirrels at bay. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And with the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they're gonna be there no matter what you do. No matter what you do. Okay? And I can speak to that, you know, just a quick little snippet on that is what I would suggest for that age more than any other is 2 minutes in this drill, 2 minutes in that drill, 3 minutes in that drill, like move constantly. Heck, even if you're doing a shooting drill on one basket, after 2 minutes, change. What's change? Change to the other side of the court. Sprint your butt to that basket. We're doing our next shooting at that basket. Like literally just constantly changing it. But to answer your question, with that age, it would be, hey guys, we're trying to accomplish this, this, and this. Questions? Great. Right? Because they're not gonna ask questions, right? Or Tommy who asks a million questions. Shut up, Tommy, right? You know, or whatever. In high school, we want them to ask questions. So we're gonna slow down a little bit. A practice that I've gotten into the last 2 years, and I think it's been super beneficial, is we wheel this into the gym. I have a digital version of practice. They literally can come and look at it before we're going or in the middle of it. They go, coach has 10 minutes for a shell drill. And they always know if we don't get what we need done, time's gonna go longer and the fun stuff or whatever is gonna get cut. No, it gets cut. But if they're dialed, hey, we only have to be in defensive shell for 10 minutes. Oh, we only have to be in rebounding, you know, we have a rebounding drill we call zoo. 3 lines, 3 on 3, by any means necessary, get the ball. Like literally, elbow, punch, shoulder, it doesn't matter. By any means necessary, get the ball, outlet it to your line, that's a point. We played a 3. Gosh, we're in that for 3 minutes, but if they kind of lollygag and they're not going hard, we're in that for 6 minutes, we're in that for 9 minutes, you know? And if 1 or 2 guys really aren't getting it done, we change a rule, and they gotta stay till they get a rebound, right? So don't do that with your 6th, 7th, and 8th graders because the poor little 6th grader is gonna be in there forever, right? But, so to answer your question, I think share the why as much as the group needs, but get them to want to know the why, you know? The other thing too, with your age group, fellas, is your goal should be for them to want to play next year. Like, no matter what it is that they're doing, you know, we tell our freshman coach that. Like, your job is to teach them discipline and for them to show up to JV tryouts. Like, that's it. Like, and he's amazing at discipline, which is why some don't show up to JV tryouts. But they want to, they just know they can't play here. So they're gonna go play baseball or run track or play football or whatever.
Thanks.
Yeah. Obviously super casual.
What time did the game start out there?
8:25. So yeah, you got a few more minutes. Second thing that I would have every single day, okay, we call them vitamins. Gotta take your vitamins if you wanna be nice and strong, right? So pre-practice routines. I have a sample for you guys as well that I'll give you. It's actually on the back of the template for the practice plan. We have vitamins for our varsity. Okay, we'll put 15 minutes on the clock, and that's their time to stretch. Phones are away, shoes should be on, but it's their time to stretch and it's their time to choose their vitamins. So guards have certain vitamins, bigs have certain vitamins. What are vitamins? Great. I don't know if that's what you're gonna ask. Let me explain that real quick. Sorry, words per minute in this, by the way. I'm getting my money's worth on words per minute over here. Vitamins, Mike can drill if I'm a big. Really simple ball handling if I'm a guard. We put tape on the wall, and guards have to hit the X on the wall 10 times with certain passes. It might be a reverse pivot jump shot. It might be a front pivot jump shot from certain places. But each kid has vitamins that we want them to work through. So again, they can be nice and strong.
Do you let them listen to music, their own music?
No. We have music, yeah. So we'll have music going, depending on the practice and the focus level, intensity level, it might change. If they have a great practice, they can be the DJ. If they have a bad practice, I'm the DJ. But yeah, we'll listen to music, but no, because we want to promote unity and not individuality. Right? It's part of the reason, like, I don't have a lot of rules. We don't have a lot of rules in our program, but one of the rules that we have is that you have to wear shoes that are predominantly black, navy, white, or silver, gray. Like, I don't want to see pink shoes on the court. Like, if you want to stand out, I want your game to make you stand out. Now, I broke that. We had a huge game that would have locked us into the open playoffs this year. So right before pregame, I was like, oh yeah, and one more thing, if you guys win this game, you can wear whatever shoes you want for the rest of the season. They played their asses off. We won by 30.
So you're thinking about resetting that?
Actually, I'm thinking about resetting it because I went to the Nike store the other day and I was like, damn, there really aren't shoes.
There's not plenty of shoes.
They're all highlighter shoes. So, I don't know, maybe we just taste the rainbow, man. It's like, so pre-practice routines, whatever that is for you, right? Again, it goes back to the first point. Start with the end in mind. Okay, no reason for us to be working on, 6 dribble combos into a floater if my man can't make a left-handed layup, right? If they don't know front pivot, reverse pivot, there's no reason for us to do anything but that during vitamins, right? So figure out your group and then go from there. Simulate game situations, okay? Again, guilty of this. Hey, we'll do the drill work and then let's scrimmage. Well, why? Because they could just go to the park, they could just go to the rec center, we just want them to play, right? So what is it that we're trying to get out of the scrimmage, right? If we want to get more aggressiveness on the drive, play 3-on-3. Why? Because you have less kids to touch the basketball, you have more space to attack, right? We want to get better at our defensive positioning. Play 2-on-2, play 4-on-4, and make them have to be exactly where you want them to be. If you guys go into our aux gym later, you'll see there's tape on the floor in the shape of a hexagon. It's because I'm testing something out, a coach that I stole something from. By the way, all of this is stolen, okay? Like, none of this is, wow, I made this up. Like,
It will be stolen.
It should be. It should be. Let's pass it all along. I stole something from a coach. He teaches man-to-man defense with a hexagon, and he's got some rules to it. I was like, let me just try to take what we do and put it into that shape. So we've been training our freshmen and JV kids with that. They got to have a foot inside of it. They got to have a foot on it, depending on their positioning. So maybe your live situation at the end of practice is 5-on-5, but you have tape on the floor. And if little Johnny doesn't have his foot on the tape when he's 2 passes away, the entire team does 5 push-ups. Come on, Johnny! Pretty quick, you get them policing each other instead of the coach having to police everything. So I would challenge you to think through what is it you want to accomplish in your scrimmage situation.
So I guess I'm just looking for like tips and tricks. So like I try to break down what I want to see like in a general offense into drills, but then when I put it into 3-on-3 situations, it quickly becomes jacking threes and dribble drives. So I try to put in like little rules, like I have to see a dribble handoff, I have to see a screen away, I have to see 2 feet in the paint, like just things like that. But any tips and tricks for like how you keep that 3-on-3 a little more organized?
Yeah, your group's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like I obviously, because of that varying skill level and varying desire level that we kind of started with,
Mhm.
right? You're doing the right thing. Put constraints
Okay.
that get you the result that you want. So if you don't want threes, the only, a made three is worth 1. A missed three is -1,
Okay,
right? So you give them the incentive of making it, but it's the same value if I attack the basket,
yeah,
right? The constraint of you have to have the ball in the paint, it's gotta be a paint touch before you can score, is gonna get you the aggressiveness on the drive that you want, right? Cause, guard will come off the ball screen, he'll attack the top of the key, he doesn't get his feet underneath the free throw line, but he kicks it out, made shot, that's a turnover. But
without the
it's a
paint.
turnover, you didn't get a paint touch.
Mhm.
So, because the point of the game is to score by doing what I'm asking you to do,
Mhm.
right? And so, if you put enough constraints and they do it enough, it just becomes memory of how I want to play.
Yeah,
For us, we took 61 charges this season on the varsity level. We took 21 last year, two years ago. It's a
Okay.
major point of emphasis, right? We were too soft to play the competition that we were playing. It's that simple.
like sliding over and help type of thing.
Like manning up
Yeah,
to take a
in
charge.
front of
Like
the
manning
shot.
up to take the contact,
Yeah.
right? And at the high school varsity level against elite teams, which we played a lot of them this year, we play even more of them next year, right? I mean, heck, in our banquet, I always give like a final address, like 3-4 minutes of, hey, this is what the future is. Told all the parents, like if your son is not ready to compete, you guys should leave. Because every single night is gonna be a gauntlet. There are no games off. And so, but back to my point, sorry, I was preaching for a second. We worked on one-on-one touch, defense to offense, 5 to 10 minutes every day for 10 months. Meaning,
Yeah, sorry.
hey Justin, can you stand up real quick? So Justin has the basketball, right? And he's wanting to attack this way, okay? My hand, my forearm is on his hip, okay? Now the way that we teach this is if he chops my arm, which is what a good offensive player would do, okay? We call it Mickey Mouse, so I'm here, chop. I want to step and show my hands, okay? Mickey Mouse, right, my ears. Okay, I stole that from Molly Miller at GCU. Okay, my hands are up, I'm in front of him, so I show the referee, I'm not contact here, I'm here, but when he go ahead, swipe again, my step is there, so I'm already making contact, my arms are up, my natural motion as he bumps into me, charge, right? Okay, thank you.
Used to do that in high school too.
Hey, easy. We were high school rivals. Easy, buddy. So, right? So if the emphasis is we gotta get tougher on defense, okay, then a charge ends the game. Right? So we're playing to 21, it's 19-7. Take a charge. Buddy takes a charge, it's game over. Coach, we had 19. You lost. It's, a line drill. It's, whatever. By the way, no, I won't say that. But yeah, whatever the punishment is. Okay?
Could you rattle off like a list of things that you really think should be incentivized, like first, like? 'Cause
Yeah. In our system,
Okay, yeah, perfect.
in our system, offensively, attacking the basket. So I think playing in the paint is huge. Making open jump shots. Right? So how do I get open jump shots? Well, I attack the paint, I draw a help defender, I kick to the open man. Right? To be honest with you, at that age, those two things on offense. Defense, guarding the ball, we call it guard your yard. Okay? So I want to be chest to chest and I want to be able to guard 3 feet to the right, 3 feet to the left. Guard a yard. Okay? We tell younger kids, this goes back to my point about freshmen wanting to play a higher level. You're the level that you can guard.
Yeah.
So you got a sixth grader, right? Canyon Ridge has a sixth grade big that starts. Okay, he looks like he's 37, okay, but he's in sixth grade, okay? You guys can go see him, he's playing in this
33,
game
right?
when we finish, yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's a good kid.
He's a great
Good
kid, great kid, awesome family,
Yeah.
yeah. If he wants to be a starter, he's gotta be able to guard eighth graders. Like, it's that simple, right? If I'm a freshman guard in Willow Canyon's program, I gotta be able to guard Khalil Kelly, who's a senior returning all-region, first team, all-state, like, gotta be able to guard that kid, right? Or you're not at that level, right? So guard your yard. Defensive rebounding, you know, I would emphasize that. And you can choose to do that however you want to. I think gone are the days of you gotta box out. Yes, you need to box out, but we don't teach it as you gotta box out. Get your butt on him, hands up, make contact, push him back. By that point, 3 kids have already grabbed the ball,
No.
right? We'd say hit and get, right? Shot goes up, I wanna hit my man and go get the ball. If my man's on the 3-point line and I'm not close enough to hit him, just go get the ball. Now, if you just try to jump and teams are more athletic, you better freaking hit him or you can hit the bench, right? But again, I coach varsity kids who all say they want to play in college. Some of you guys are coaching 6th graders.
Yeah, I say
Right.
touch and go, but I think hit
Yeah.
give them a little bit more. Do you, so my team, I have a basketball player, right, on my team, I have baseball players, I have
Yeah.
football players, I think you know Landon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And, I can't convince them to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
They pass up so many wide open shots that
So-
I don't know what to do.
That's a whole nother thing. Let me come back to that
Alright,
because I think that kind of speaks to today's athlete. So make sure that we address that
alright,
moving forward. Couple more thoughts and then Q&A. We'll try to be out of here at 8:45. Competition is the best teacher. Make every single thing you do a competition. You're training a kid one-on-one, beat the time. Like, you gotta beat the time. Because what that does is it's gonna, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it's gonna create pressure, which is what you want, because, and this actually goes hand in hand with what you just asked, but we'll come back to it, is we need them to be able to perform under pressure. Like, anybody can look good in drills, anybody can look good in 5-on-0, anybody can look good when it's just drive, kick, into my shot slowly. You know, my number one phrase to our freshmen progressing to sophomores right now in the spring, dude, there's no way you're getting that shot off. Like, I get you made it, but I don't care because you're not gonna get the shot, period. You gotta get it off quicker. You gotta get it off quicker. Well, do I know how to teach him to get it off quicker? Because what does he think when he hears quicker?
Hoist.
No, what I mean by quicker is set your feet early, get your shot up higher, finish faster, right? It's all gotta be quicker, but we know it's really efficiency, right? So, you know, I was at a clinic yesterday, and Dane had this video that he broadcasted into the clinic, okay? The guy who put the clinic on was his college coach. And he broke down film of Dame's shot. And obviously, you know, if you're a fan of basketball, you already know he's got one of the prettiest shots ever, right? But if you just watch him, the dude is literally sitting before the ball gets to him. Like, he's literally locked and loaded, ball's coming. He's already in a chair. So as soon as he's up, right? Same thing with his step back or, you know, his sideway move. It's real quick and he's down as the dribble's happening. So I don't expect 7th graders at Sunset, you know, or wherever to be able to do those things.
Right.
But if we can get them to understand that foundation is in my feet when I'm shooting, putting time on the clock for a shooting drill.
Question. For the time, what would you recommend? Like, what would be a reasonable time? Like, if
Yeah.
they had, let's say they gotta make 5,
Yep.
right? Because I know we do like 5 for 8.
Yep.
We're in this drill until you go 5 for 8.
So I would set a baseline
Okay.
and then beat the baseline,
Okay.
right?
So however long it
Because what we're looking for is every kid's journey is different, right? So, I mean, if it's a kid that you've been training for a while, maybe they gotta beat your time. So you go first, and then, can you beat me, right?
Perfect.
Or, like,
I would smoke that.
we did a shooting drill the other night, senior, freshman, 8th grader, 8th grader. They had to make 6 threes from 5 spots and then go back. So I think it totaled 54 makes. Every time they missed, they had to run to half court and back, right? One kid took 8 minutes and 15 seconds, okay? I won't tell you which kid. 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Another kid took 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Another kid, 8, whatever. So they're competing against each other because I had 4 of them. But now they all have a time. So now they can all do that drill whenever they want to. And it's like, am I getting better? Well, did you beat your time? Yeah, I did 10:40 last time, and I was at 10:21. So I chopped off 19 seconds, right? Hopefully that time decreases with the work that they're putting in so that they recognize, I'm tired right now. I missed 4 in a row. I ran half court. Let me knock that down, because the moment isn't about getting a shot off quickly. It's about knocking it down, right? It's the 4th quarter. I've missed 3 in a row. We're down 2. Coach drew a play up for me.
Gotta hit it.
What was that drill again?
That one,
The one, yeah, I know.
the shooting drill,
Yeah, what was it?
I can show you, but it was 5 spots around the perimeter. They had to make 6 from each one. For younger kids, I did it with a female player here. She's made 11 threes in one game this year. Great player. I did 4 makes at each spot. So adjust based on your personnel.
But they're like in the corner, they shoot
Corner,
and miss, they
yeah,
run out,
corner,
they run
wing,
back.
top, wing, corner. Right? And maybe for the first time, they just go around.
Yeah.
And it's 3 makes. So it's 15 makes.
And get your own rebound.
That's a pretty good.
No, have somebody pass.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so obviously that's gonna dictate your time as well, right?
Right.
You have one person rebounding for you, unless you make more shots, your time's gonna go. So when I'm saying setting a score or a time, it's gotta be oranges to oranges,
Right.
right? So I had 1 passer, took me 9 minutes. I had 3 passers, it took me 7 minutes.
Right.
Right, so I can't try to beat
Can't
my
compare those
7-minute
two,
time.
right.
Yeah, I can't try to beat my 3 passer time, right? Because it's gonna be off. But we're smart enough, and we're fans of basketball, fellas, just how can I make this a competition, right? And I tell the kids all the time, like, I'm gonna be a way better coach 15 years from now. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you don't get the best me. Like, the last team I coach is gonna get the best me, right? So I'm gonna do things and it's gonna suck. And I'm gonna go, yeah, that was stupid. Sorry that we wasted 12 minutes, right? And I'm gonna do things and go, wow, that was amazing. I'm doing that every day for the rest of my coaching career, right? So just tinker. Don't be afraid to, show them that you're wrong, because then they have the freedom to be wrong as well. All right, last point, and then questions if we have any more. I kind of just hit on it too. Reflect, modify, execute, right? So monitor what they need, monitor what you need. I mean, I'll be honest, there's some days I'm like, dude, I don't have the energy to like fight this kid on working hard. And so it's just like, hey Mike, I know that we've had some issues in the last couple practices. Sorry, you're the kid right now. Right, Mike, I know we've had some issues the last couple practices. I'm just gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna give you one warning today. If you're not focused, I'm just gonna call your name. If you do it again, I'm sending you home. And early in my career, I would have fought that kid. I'd be yelling at him, come on, Mike. Now I'm just like, hey, this is how it's gonna go. I want you to be a part of this, totally your choice. Right? We had a kid, statistically, one of the best players on our team this last year. Should have started on varsity as a junior. Came off the bench on JV, because that was him every day. Kicked him out of practice 4 different times. I sat him down last spring. I'm like, you're going into your senior year. I think you're a college basketball player. If you transfer, you're gonna have to sit half of your senior year. This is how you're gonna do things, or you will not play. You're either gonna be the best player on this team, or you will not play. And it was a fight, but, you know, he got there and he was one of the best players on the team. So, has an opportunity to play college basketball. Good for him, right? It's not because I'm amazing. It's just because we reflected as a staff, we modified, and we got him to be able to execute. So, that's it, man. That's practice planning. Like I said, I got a couple things for you guys. I'm just gonna give you the practice plan and the vitamins, and then if you guys have any questions, that, you know. Kind of pressing or whatever.
Thank you.
So that's a practice plan. On the one side is a template that we use, and then the other side has kind of previous year's vitamins. Whatever the template that you use is, whatever works for you, do that.
Do you have any advice for like in-game coaching when like you want the kids to remain aggressive and confident, but oftentimes like they do make really bad and or selfish shots.
Yep.
So it's like what I've been trying to do is just kind of sub them out real quick and just kind of talk to them. That was a bad shot because, and get them back in quick.
That's in game, in
Yeah.
practice.
Both,
Yeah.
but like in the game, like that's the balance I can't find is like, hey, that's a really bad
Yeah.
shot,
So,
but not crush their spirit.
yeah, for sure. No, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, if I had a panel of kids in here right now, that we coached this year, there's 2 or 3 who would be like, yeah, he crushed me.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
right? And that goes back to the monitoring, right? So do I know the kid, right? So the kids that I coach the hardest are typically the kids that I also support the most,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Uh-huh.
in our program, guys know the best players, everything is their fault. The amount of times that Khalil, I'll just keep talking about him because he's coming back next year. The amount of times that Khalil got yelled at for a sophomore's mistakes, well, it was him who was out of position. No, he was out of position because you didn't communicate that he needed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guarding my man. I get it, but could you have seen help position? Because from your help, you should have seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell him to get there? He's looking at me like, what the hell? And I'm like, bro, you're wanting to go to a place where a dude's making 6 figures for you to do that right.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally 7 figures. I make 3 figures. So like, so I would start with like, what does the kid want to get out of the experience, right? So how do you want me to coach you, right? Coach, I want to play high school basketball. Great, what level? Like, where do you want your career to end, right? You're on this journey right now. At some point it's going to end, right? So I know we've talked, you want to make an impact while you are playing, and you're going to make a bigger impact down the road, right? But so you already know that answer. A 6th grader might not know that answer, right? A 7th grader, so you're having that conversation with them. Like I said, in our program, everyone says they want to play college basketball.
Yeah.
My job is to love them regardless and to help them understand what that's going to look like as best I can, right? I don't know if that answered that, but I would start with what do they want out of it? How do they want to be coached? And then those answers are going to tell you whether you should pull that kid out for a selfish shot, whether you should call him over and say, hey, Timmy, we need a better look.
Yeah.
Swing the ball, man. Did you see the other guy open? No? Okay, well, let's make sure we're looking, because if you do that you know, 1 or 2 more times, I'm not gonna play you.
Yeah,
I'd rather lose doing it my way than win doing it yours,
yeah.
right?
Do you think every coach is capable of coaching, recognizing and coaching kids differently based on what they're, like, I'm early on in being able to coach, like, and right now,
No, you gotta
I wanna be, like, I know how to coach my, like,
Yeah.
we parent different for different
For
kids, right? I don't know if I have the skill set from a coaching perspective
same
to
thing.
coach kids.
It's the same thing. Like, and yes, you're good enough already. It's the same thing. You will pick up on, so the first time that a kid makes a mistake and you harp on them, Justin, it needs to be a better pass, man. Their reaction, just like our kids, is gonna tell you everything about how that kid wants to be coached,
Next time.
right?
Yeah.
Like, if he's just, okay, I can't yell at that kid, right?
Yeah.
If he's like, screw you, in his eyes, you're like, okay. Now I watch to go, is he gonna manage that emotion?
Right.
Or does he go on tilt? Because if he goes on tilt, I can't yell at that kid.
Right.
If he focuses more, hell, I'm gonna yell at that kid all the time.
Yeah.
Because, and like I tell these guys, when they step between the blue lines, like when you're in the gym, we're joking, when you put your shoes on and you walk onto the court, this is all business.
Yeah.
So you cannot take it personal. It's really hard to get a 6th grader or 7th grader to understand that.
But you start that in your vitamins, right? Like
Of
you,
course.
that's in your 15 minutes.
Yep.
Once you stretch up and put your phone down, it's time to go.
100%. Structure creates those pathways
Yeah.
to where they understand what the expectations are. It's hard to do that once a season's been going, right? By the way, don't go to practice on Monday and do 9 of these things, right? if there's one thing that you, right? But like, yeah, I definitely think every coach can pick it up. I think the question is, do they want to? Like, it's really easy just to go, I coach everybody the same. No, I treat everyone the same. Meaning, you get coached the best that I can for you, and you, and you, and you. And I try to create a space within our coaching staff where you can give us feedback. So, Mike, what'd you think of yesterday's practice? Coletti was yelling at you a lot, man. How'd that feel? And, you know, some kids don't feel safe to say that stuff to me. A lot of them don't, because I'm the head coach and I'm pretty intense. But we have 9 coaches on our staff. There's at least one guy they feel comfortable talking to. And the entire staff, they know we talk to each other. At the parent meeting, I go, if you approach any coach on our staff to complain, assume you're talking to me. This is coming back to me. So like, that's not like in a, you know, we don't want you to talk. We just come to me. If it's something we can talk about, let's talk. So, yes, coaches can identify this. I don't want to cut you guys short, but obviously I got my words per minute value. So, any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
absolutely. I really appreciate you guys coming.
Guys, I'm helping Coach Coletti with his feeder program, so if you have any good 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th graders, kids, good attitude, want to play, whatever, just get in contact with Coach Coletti if they want to play more year-round.
Or you.
Yeah, or you can contact me, or just if they want to play more year-round, you got kids with good attitudes,